What's up, Gemini? This is Jesse with 44 Astro with Lionsgate 8.8 tarot reading. This is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Whether you have a stellium in Gemini, whether you have Mercury in Gemini with a bunch of aspects on it, or anything that makes your Mercury really strong, or the sign of Gemini, specifically the sign of Gemini, really strong. Mercury in Gemini would do that, especially if it had a lot of aspects on it. Even though it wouldn't be your sun, moon, or ascendant. There's all kinds of ways that Gemini can be prominent in a chart without being the sun, moon, or rising, but those definitely help. You want to see how many aspects Mercury is in, right? Or if your top planet with the most aspects, like for example, I think the moon is mine. I have like 11 to 12, something like that, aspects just on my moon, but it's not in the sign of Cancer or anything like that, so it wouldn't be really, really strong for me. But to say you had any planet that had a ton of aspects on it, right? So I think my moon is in Sagittarius, so Sagittarius is a very powerful sign for me, and it really is because I have a stellium there too, and it's my ascendant and moon. So for example, if you had Jupiter in Gemini and it's the most aspected thing in your chart, you may want to watch Gemini, especially if it has aspects to Mercury, or the third house, or if and it's also in the third house at the same time like that. There's all kinds of ways it could be. It could be like Jupiter in the third house in Gemini, which with aspects galore on it, like 10 plus aspects. It would make Gemini really, really strong in your chart. And Mercury with a bunch of aspects on it in Gemini would make it strong in your chart. There's all kinds of ways. With that being said, I will eventually, hopefully, if I can build the channel up enough to where I can have 1,000 subscribers, so I can like monetize the channel. Then I'll start actually doing the astrology. I'll start making astrology videos, doing birth chart readings, things like that. But I'm not going to jump the gun on anything, because until there's a reason, there's a reason. The channel hasn't really been growing that fast. I've only got like 50 some subscribers, but we're going to keep trying. The cards want to stop right here. So this is your energy starting on 8/8 and through August, and we'll see what we have for Gemini. New perspective, possibly. Don't mind my dog. He's just walking to his laying spot. We're going to do a Thoth spread with Thoth clarifiers. This path looks a little rough. Okay, it's the bottom of the deck if you want to see it. I don't ever put a lot of credence into this. This would just be like confused or not seeing what's going on around you. Choosing not to see most of the time, but... So the current situation, or the current question, is maybe a new perspective. And I would say a new perspective in this situation, not really being stuck, because it has the Magician beside it and the Five of Rods. So it could be that you feel stuck in like a situation where there's a lot of squabbling, like whatever your social group is. Geminis generally do have big social groups because they're very social signs. It could be you're trying to create a different perspective or a different... not dichotomy, because that would be two, but you're trying to like a new narrative within your social group. You're trying to create a new perspective, or like maybe the way you all interact, or maybe you feel stuck within that and maybe you created it. I mean, we all create whatever situations we're in. At least we create our own thoughts and feelings about them. But it looks like probably a new perspective. You're trying to create like a new perspective within whatever this situation is. It's a situation with individual squabbling. You could be involved in the squabbling, or it could just be people that you know around you. It could be you're a boss at work and people are squabbling. Don't really see a lot of work cards here necessarily. Yeah, I do actually. 10 of rods right here. So it could be about work for sure. 10 of rods, 6 of rods, 2 of swords. This is like hard work paying off, but like you can't see it. It's like your hard work's paying off, but you can't see it. Or you don't choose to see it. Because this is it paying off, or you being victorious within this hard work. Right? This hard work has led to, but maybe it isn't exactly how you pictured it. Right? And most of the time in our lives, that's just kind of how things are. They're never exactly how we picture them. We can get damn close many times, but to get it exactly, for everything to go exactly how we want, no matter how much we try to manipulate and control the situation, it generally doesn't work. And generally, the harder you try to control it and manipulate it, the more it tends to backfire. So we got to be careful with that. Because, we don't want to try to, we need to learn our lessons. We need to figure out what the things we need to figure out to be ready for what we want. And whenever time we want something and put an intention out there, we begin to get tested. We begin to be showed what we need to learn to be able to handle what it is that we're asking for. And a lot of times it's very big. So the lessons can be extensive and very, very difficult. But it looks like whatever this is you're trying to create, this new perspective, it's around hard work, right? Or maybe, you're having a hard time seeing this in your work. This is what you want to see and what you want to feel like, but you just can't see it. And you're trying to create that, but you don't feel like that you are. And even though you probably are, judging from the outcome, you definitely are. It's just, you just got to stick with it, right? Just stick with it. Keep working hard. Even if you're not getting the immediate results, they're coming. You just have to keep working, and you will be victorious. And hold your head up and believe that you'll be victorious, and you definitely will. And this is the other path you can choose. This is a frivolous path, I can already tell you. You have the 3 of Cups with the devil and the 5 of Cups. If you party too much, you decide that you just want to live life and have fun and be slave to your vices. I know many Geminis that do this, by the way. I know several for sure, my brother being one of them, who decided that this is the path. I just want to have a good time. Life is only about having a good time. This is where it's going to lead you. And no matter what anyone tells you, life isn't just about having a good time. There's far more to this life. It is definitely structured. It's definitely designed. I mean, you can't deny it. Why does a cell look like a solar system? I mean, there's a design to everything. Why does everything move in the way it does? Why does everything interact in the way it does? It's all by design. I'm not trying to press any agenda on you or any belief. My guess is if you're here, you believe in a higher power. If you're looking at this tarot rings, I would almost certainly believe that you do. And there's lessons that we have to learn on our path, whatever that is. You can choose not to. That's the whole aspect of free will, right? You can choose to do this if you want, or you can choose to do this. The path you're on suggests that you're working hard. That's the path that you're on. But you can choose to just say, and just, here we go. I'm going to party. I'm going to drink and do drugs and have sex. And this is your outcome. You're going to get exactly what you put in. But if you work hard, you stick with it, you're going to get what you want. Even if it isn't there at first. There's a lot of struggle involved in getting the things we want because we always get tested. It's just the way it works. If you want to level up, you have to prove that you are ready to level up. And it's very obvious when we're being tested many times because it's not positive reinforcement. It's generally negative, but it's trying to show us because most of the times we won't do anything if it's too positive. We'll just be lazy because there's no initiative if it's not some kind of struggle or problem. And that's how that's a lot of the things I learned. That's how I've learned many of the things is through struggle because that was the best way for me to learn. Because if I didn't struggle, I wouldn't have took the effort. I wouldn't have took the initiative and done anything. All right. When negative things happen or bad things push us to do something, it gives us initiative. So that's generally how the universe teaches us. Now, if we can show the universe that we're willing to learn and adapt without that negative reinforcement, it won't do it, right? But sometimes it's hard to even see the route we need to go without those situations. But like I said, here's the advice. Got the 2 of Cups or 2 of Pentacles, which would be a change in money specifically, but it is just a change. It could be balancing money, but you got the King of Cups here, and then Judgment. So the final judgment would be judgment about something, right? It could be a final judgment coming down, and it could be about a change in money, specifically. There could be a water sign involved, Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces. It could be that you have this in your chart. You could be a cusp with Cancer. But it could be saying, be more like this dude. Be solid in your emotions. Be resolute. Be kind and generous to others. This is a really good king right here. It's a good king. Pretty much all the kings are good. It's, the look on this dude's face would suggest otherwise. He's the only one that maybe there's a question about, or maybe you could say even maybe the of rods because they're a little bit too impetuous. But the only reason King of Swords gets a bad rap is because of just not willing to hold back, telling you exactly the truth, whether you like it or not. Compassion isn't even entering into his mind. Truth only. So the advice is to be more like this. because your outcome is suggesting you're going to be like this. And Geminis are very logical. You know what I mean? So sometimes it can be hard to separate from the logic and the knowledge that you have, or the wisdom that you have. You know, knowledge and wisdom are two different things. It could be wisdom, could be knowledge. And this looks like higher wisdom or higher knowledge, right? Because you have the Hierophant and the Empress here, which is abundance. So I think that you're going to approach it this way, regardless, which you need logic. You need to be able to see things clearly, for sure. But it's going to lead to like big success, because this is like big success. If it's in work and you work hard and you're in a company or something like that, or you're trying to build a company, this is like big success. This could be like a big company, you know? It could be like social media, the internet, big, anything big. Could be God itself, could be divine guidance in abundance. But it's suggesting that it's something big. If you're trying to create something on social media, something like that, you just got to work hard at it. Don't stop. Keep working. Try to be, when obstacles get in your way, you know, don't let it get you down. Don't let it bring you to this, right? Or even if the other people around you are doing that, still try to be like this if you can. It's easier said than done, I know. Believe me, it's easy to get caught up in our emotions, or if you see something that doesn't seem rational or seem logical and you're like, well, that's just dumb. I mean, it's easy to do that. I do it too. But then I think to myself, well, should I have done that? Was that the best way to go about it? Is that going to get the best results working with individuals? No, you want to do, you know, you can catch more flies with honey, right? So you want to do your best to try to be compassionate in a situation, but at the same time, you do need to keep your intellect, which shouldn't be a problem for a Gemini, to be fair. You want to navigate it well and understand it, but in that understanding, you need to incorporate this if you want to get this change, you know, this big guided change. It looks like a big guided change, specifically in money. And it looks, I mean, this is one of the most abundant cards in the deck right here. It's new. Look how opulent she is. Everything she's holding. All right, look at her robes. Look at the crown. Look at all the pinnacles in her crown. Right? She's got it all. Right? I mean, you could even argue that she's sitting on a heart, right? Like that's, you know, but it could just be a bunch of chocolates, you know? Who knows? And the forest behind her is green, the flowing water. She has the growing wheat in front of her, you know? I mean, she's got it all. I mean, that's it. She has got it all. Okay? And this is big. So, like, it's big success. But you have to, you have to work hard. Don't go frivolous. Don't focus only on just having a good time, because it's not going to lead you anywhere. It's going to be a bunch of dead ends. Yeah, it's good to have fun and cut loose sometimes. Absolutely. You've got to take care of yourself. But if you go too far down the path, this is where it leads. Compulsive behavior. And too much compulsive behavior is bad, no matter what you say, because when you're living compulsively, you're completely out of control. When you're living consciously, that's when you can recognize your compulsions and curb them when you need to. I mean, living compulsively is why we have alcoholics, why we have, you know, degenerates, as far as like sexual degenerates, criminals, like people that want to hurt people, rape people. It's because of compulsion. It's not being conscious. But it's definitely within your power as a very logical sign. It's definitely within your power to choose. And you have the choice right here. And it's saying, like right here, it's saying the choice is yours. And you haven't decided yet either from the looks of it. It's saying, do you really want to work hard? Because, I mean, like, hard work sucks. I mean, I ain't going to lie to you. But I'm tell you what, no matter what, even though I don't necessarily like to work all the time, I'll work my butt off. And I don't stop. I always work. I'm always doing something. I'm always trying. Right there. Okay. We're going to see what this devil path is over here. 3 major arcanas on it. On this path. But I don't think it's necessarily good, right? It's screaming balance, right? You got the healing card in the middle, right? It's saying you need to heal this if you choose this path. It's basically saying don't do it. I mean, right here you got balance, or creating what you want. Right here's like a wish, and this can also be a card of drinking a lot, because look, right there, you see all that flowing out of her cup. She's drinking it and it's flowing out, right? So I mean, like, and this is the Lover's card, but it could also be a sexual card. It's the counterpart to this card, right? It's 2 people on this, but they're chained. This one, it's a choice, right? And this is also a healing card, the Star. So, you know, you need to find balance, because that's definitely, art is temperance in this deck. And maybe you're an artistic individual, and maybe that's what it's saying, right? Maybe it's art, what you're trying to create or trying to work on or trying to sell. And Geminis are super artistic. I mean, look at people like Prince. I mean, that's one of the most artistic people that's ever lived. He did have Capricorn in his chart to kind of balance him out a little bit, but he was still heavy Gemini. You have the Lovers here, which I would suggest is another balance card, but it also could be in your love life. You know what I mean? Focus on love rather than compulsion and just sex. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I put this on the devil specifically, right? So it's like, it's trying to tell you to heal through balance and through love, right? And it could be that it could be drinking, could be end up being an issue if you ain't careful, especially with all the cups I see here, on that path specifically. I mean, she's just pouring that water all over herself, right? If you look in this specific deck, you look at, she's pouring it down her throat and it's coming right out, right? So, but it's looking like healing of that. So yeah, don't be compulsive. And it's saying, balance and healing through love. I mean, you can't beat that. And it's right on top of the devil. It's like everything that the devil isn't is sitting on top of him, like in perfect unison. And like I said, that card is called art. Art could be your outlet. Like when you do need to cut loose, instead of like going out and partying with your friends, maybe you lose yourself in art, painting, drawing, poetry, writing. Geminis are great writers. People that have like Gemini in the third house with like Mercury there or something like that, man, some of the greatest authors you've ever seen, you'll see have Mercury and Gemini almost always. They're amazing authors. It doesn't have to be the case, but it's a lot of time. Jupiter can help you with that too, because Sagittarius is on that same axis with Gemini. So I mean, like, so it's probably saying that if you feel like you're on that kind of path, then maybe art, put your emotions and your love into your art, or into an individual, right? Find someone that you can really confide in and be with. And plus, that's a Gemini card, the Lovers. It is a Gemini card. If you look at the bottom of it, it's got the symbol of Gemini down there at the bottom. See it? Symbol of Gemini. Okay. We want to see. I think the current path is pretty so far. I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of curious about the outcome here. I want to get some clarifiers on like what this big abundance that you're trying to create. You could also be a musician, right? You could be a musician. I know I have a friend of Gemini. He's a musician. Absolutely. Art. Gemini's artistic sign. No doubt about that. Like as far as like great moon signs to have like really artistic ability, you want Pisces or Gemini. Actually, you want Pisces, Gemini, Cancer, or Scorpio. In general. Just because, you want like strong Neptune in your chart, Neptune touching the moon in some way. And in specific houses, first house would be good. Fourth house would relate it to home, but you could have in your 10th house. So that'd be like how you make your money, what you do for work, your vocation. Second house as well. That's material goods. So it'd be how you make your money. And with really creative individuals, you want to see the moon touching Neptune, or even Uranus, or all three, or even Mercury touching Uranus. That makes for extremely intelligent individuals. I have Mercury, Uranus, and the moon all touching, which makes me extremely logical. And I have a really, really high IQ as well. But with that being said, that's not the kind of intelligence I'm talking about. I'm talking about creative artistic intelligence. And that's what if you add Neptune to that picture, or if you add Neptune with the moon at all, you're going to get just super creative. I wish I could have that kind of creativity and visualization in my mind. I think in words a lot instead of pictures. Some people think in pictures, some people think in words. Some people it's a combination of the two. I have to work on visualization. Jung said there was 4 ways that people took stimulus. It was sensory, which would be like through feeling. Tauruses are probably really good at that. That's one way you take in stimulus. Intuitive, would that be like Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, intuitive type energy. Logical, which would be, like I said, like thinking in words. And feeling, which would be like through your actual feelings, your emotions, which is not the same as intuition. Those two things are different. Intuition is like knowing without knowing how you know. It can lead to feelings, but feelings is something different. And we have all 4 of those, all of us, right? But we're going to be strongest in 1 or 2 of them, and then we want to work on the other ones to make them stronger within us, and that makes us a more complete individual. And that's what Carl Jung also said, is there's no point in trying to be perfect, just try to be complete. I just want to see what the outcome is here. Ooh, oh yeah. Ooh, oh yeah, big outcome. Yeah, whatever this thing is, if you work hard and keep at it, it could be art, it could be something definitely artistic. Could just be whatever it is you use to make money, and it doesn't feel like it's paying off, but it is. Yeah. You got the 6 of Rods, the 9 of Discs, and Lust, which is the Strength card. So yeah, it's going to be majorly successful. It wouldn't surprise me if you're trying to do something on social media here. Like you're trying to be a personality or content creator, something like that, on whatever TikTok or whatever it is. You'll be successful. You just got to stick with it. Even if it doesn't look like you're getting the results you think you need immediately, you'll get them. Like, no doubt about it. If you work hard and don't like go off the edge of like partying and trying to have too much fun all the time, because Gemini's are very social signs, and it would be hard to fall into that. I'm gonna draw a Moonology card, just kind of chat it all together, see what we get here. See what like kind of the last advice is about all this. Come on, what do you want here? Oh, these two wanted to stay. Ha, one of them's full moon in Gemini. Okay, your commitment is being tested. First quarter moon. I told you. That fits with everything I've been saying. You're going to be tested. And the answers are coming. Full moon in Gemini. You're going to get the answers you need. Stick with it. The universe is just making sure you're ready for what it is that you want. So you're probably going to be tested in a lot of ways. If you're trying to be larger in life and like be a public figure type individual, or like be recognized on like social media and stuff like that, you're going to be tested, which means they're going to see how the universe is going to see how thick your skin is. It's going to try to perturb you in many ways, like with trolls and like just people trying to. You got to be ready to handle it. Show the universe that you can handle it. And it says the answers are coming. Just stay the course. Keep working hard. You'll have everything you need. All right, Gemini. Hope that was helpful in some way. Like I said, I'm trying to build the channel. I want to start putting a lot of astrology out there, and maybe even like start reading natal charts, things like that, helping people with transits, horoscopes, those kind of things. But I need to build the channel. I need more subscribes. I need more likes. I need more comments. Either way, whether you do that or not, I'm glad you are here and watching this video, and I do hope to see you again. But please do consider liking and subscribing. Either way, Gemini, happy August.